Heidi ho there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here today. Hey folks, today I'm on a roll. I think it's like my third video today. I drank like half a pot of coffee this morning. Maybe that's why I'm so wired up and my brain keeps spinning. I'm thinking of all these ideas for videos. Anyway, this video is going to be on how not to abuse your tools. And if you borrow a tool from someone and you abuse it and break it, get it replaced for them. Don't just expect them to. First thing I want to show you is this little adapter, okay? This poor little adapter that's broken, okay? It adapts from 1/2 inch down to 3/8. I had that, I bought this when I was like 16 years old, back when I was working on my old Camaro, my first car. Back before I even knew how to spell technician or mechanic. And I use this thing. This thing was in my toolbox for like 20 years. It's a Stanley, okay? Stanley makes pretty good tools and they're lifetime warranty. But it's like one of my first tools. It's even got my initials engraved on it, because back when I first started messing with tools and stuff, I wanted to make sure I engraved my name on everything, so anyway. But anyway, I loaned this to a guy. This is when I was working at CarMax several years ago. Young kid. He was like an apprentice. He come up to me, asked to borrow an adapter. So I give him this, and he brings it back 15 minutes later like this. Oh, sorry, it broke. I want to punch him, That's all he said. Didn't offer to replace it or anything. So this is a lesson for you mechanics out there. If you break something, if you borrow a tool from anyone, okay, in the shop, a lot of times they'll be nice, they'll let you borrow stuff. Some guys have stickers on their toolboxes. They'll say, I buy Snap-on tools, don't even ask to borrow them, or something like that. Some crazy thing. But guys will let you borrow tools. But if you break something of somebody else's, offer to replace it. And even if he says, don't worry about it. Tool truck will be by here next week. I'll get it replaced. Say, well, I'll get it replaced for you and I'll bring it back to you. You deal with it. You broke it, you deal with it. Or if it's something that the tool truck don't offer, you go buy it. You make it right. Don't break someone's tool like that and just say, here you go. Sorry. Still pisses me off every time I think about that. Anyway, here's another one. I loaned a fella my damn Snap-on buffer one time. Let him take it home for the weekend. He brought it back with a cord that's like a foot shorter. He said, oh man, I'm sorry, but the cord got wrapped around the buffer and I hit the trigger and it jerked the cord out. And I had to go back in and take it apart and hook it back up for you. Sorry. Okay. And this buffer gives me trouble to this day, and it probably doesn't have anything to do with that, because it worked fine when he first gave it back to me. Probably got bad brushes or something now, or something's messed up with the switch. But every time I think about it, I can't help but think about that guy screwing my buffer up, okay? So anyway, if you break or screw up anything that belongs to another guy, another mechanic, replace it, make it right. He had to spend his money on that. Replace it. Do whatever you got to do, okay? All right, now I want to show you a couple things that I will bring the camera around here. Some things not to do to abuse your own tools, okay? So I dropped my little remote. Here it is. Let me shut this off. We're going to come around here. I'm going to show you some things not to do to abuse your tools, okay? Okay, I decided to leave the camera turned this way so I can see what I'm doing better, so I can show them to you. One thing, air ratchets, okay? 3/8 air ratchets. When I was younger, I used to tear these things up all the time, because the purpose of an air ratchet is to zip the bolt up, okay? It's not to break really tight bolts loose, okay? Because you'll end up screwing up these heads, all right? They're for simply speeding up the process to tighten something down or loosening something to get the bolt out, okay? Here's a typical example. I used to, when I was working at Acura many years ago, I used to be the fastest guy in the shop at putting a clutch in an Integra, okay? I could do one in like an hour and 15 minutes comfortably. We kept an extra flywheel there already machined, ready to go, because I could take on clutch jobs as a waiter, okay? And one thing I would do, you know, getting up there, I had my extension at 17 millimeter, breaking bell housing bolts loose and zipping them out. And I would just stick it up there and I was strong back then too. I mean, I used to bench press like 345 pounds, I think, one time when I was younger. And anyway, I would crank on these things. I'd break everything loose with an air ratchet. And it's not a good idea. That's abusing the tool, okay? This tool is meant to quickly zip things up, tighten them up, or quickly take things apart, okay? If you got a bolt, go ahead and break it loose with a breaker bar or whatever, then use the air ratchet to zip it out. Your air ratchets will last so much longer. They're not breaker bars, okay? And if you'll remember that, I mean, I must have went through probably 5 good air ratchets before I ever realized that, you know, maybe I'm doing this wrong, okay? Another thing, don't beat on extensions, okay? Don't use extensions as punches, okay? As you can see, I beat the heck out of that one, okay? There's no way that you'll ever get another extension to go into that. So don't do that. I mean, I had to do it at one time or another for something, and now this just has turned into a drift. You know, that's all it is anymore. And while we're talking about beating on things, 4-pound sledgehammer needs to be the biggest hammer in your toolbox, okay? And even with this, if you're not careful, you will really screw something up, okay? If there's something not coming apart by beating on it or whatever, it might need some heat put on it, okay? Anything bigger than that, you're gonna tear up something on a car. So if you're a mechanic and you got a 10-pound sledgehammer beside your toolbox, man, you're gonna screw stuff up. So don't use that. Another thing is adapting things. What's wrong with this picture? Okay? What's wrong with that? We got a 1/2-inch breaker bar ratchet with an adapter adapting down to a 3/8, adapting down to a 1/4-inch socket on here. And if we go to break something loose with this type of setup, we're gonna either break this socket or we're gonna break this adapter. I can get it off of here, hang on. See that adapter? You're gonna snap that off in a heartbeat, just like that guy broke my 3/8 one. So anyway, this is not good. This is no way to set anything up. You're gonna break tools if you do that, okay? Not smart. This here would be a better choice. 1/2-inch extension, 1/2-inch drive, 14 millimeter socket, okay? So just some things to keep in mind, guys. Don't abuse your tools. I know they have lifetime warranty and the tool truck comes by once a week, but there's no sense in abusing things, okay? Things will break if you put too much force on them. You know, a 1/4-inch socket is not meant to have a 1/2-inch breaker bar adapted to it to break something loose. And another thing in this video, if you break something that belongs to somebody else, get it replaced for them, okay? And that's about all I gotta say. You guys have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend about us, and we'll see you next time. Take care.